Avoid the lottery of FIFA points. Head over to u7bike.com. Use the code TVM at checkout for a 5% off. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another video. So based on yesterday's video, where I did a no longer in FIFA, but I only really showed one player, and it was basically a regurgitated player review, I thought I'd go in a little bit more detail, put a little bit more effort in. This took ages to make because I had to find the stats and everything and put them all in there. And I had to find players who obviously weren't going to be in FIFA. I've picked 6 of the, I would say, highest profile players that are not going to be in FIFA 20. The first of which is going to be ALEXANDRE PATO, now playing for Sao Paulo, of course. And as you can see in the centre, we have some sort of a player profile. You can see that he's still only 29. And obviously his value and where his contract ends at Sao Paulo, etc. On the right-hand side are his stats for the season so far. He's played 12 games for Sao Paulo, scoring 5 goals, getting no assists. I don't know whether that's good or bad, to be honest. For someone of his quality, playing in the Brazilian league, you would kind of expect to get maybe a little bit more of a return. I was tempted, I know you probably don't care, but I was tempted to do like a FIFA 20 card design for ALEXANDRE PATO and put his new club Sao Paulo in there instead of the one that he used to play for. But I thought, well, hang on, he's not even going to be in FIFA 20, so that wouldn't make any sense. And of course, Sao Paulo aren't in FIFA. The reason they're not in FIFA, of course, is because EA have the rights to the Brazilian league. No, they don't have the rights to the Brazilian league. PES have the rights to the Brazilian league. That's what I meant to say. So it's a shame that there are a lot of players who play in Brazil who would be either very good or just very fun to use in FIFA. Plus, with the new Volta mode, you'd think that they would have busted a bit of a gut to try and get the Brazilian league in FIFA, because Volta is basically just street football in Brazil. It's just what they do. So it would have been awesome to have the Brazilians in there so you could maybe find some hidden gems and stuff. We're going to talk about a player that I mentioned yesterday now, MALCOM. It shocked me actually when I went to look at this guy to see that he is still only 22 years of age. So he hasn't ruined his career necessarily. He's just, I don't know, he's something very strange. I don't know why you'd go to Russia unless you have a association with the club, or maybe a player from the club, or maybe your grandparents are Russian. I don't know, it just doesn't make much sense to me as to why he would go there. If he wanted to do it for the money, surely he would have just gone to China, or, you know, the Indian Super League, or I think there's a Qatar league that is now starting to pay a lot of money. I don't know, it just doesn't make an awful lot of sense to me as to why Zenit St. Petersburg. It'd be good to see some sort of an interview with him if he's done one. To see if he gives the reason why he wants to move there. There has to be a reason behind it. It can't just be as simple as money, because like I said, surely you'd go to China or something. He's played 2 games so far for Zenit, hasn't started either of them. He's only played a combined total of 32 minutes, or averages, 32 minutes a game. Hasn't scored yet, hasn't got an assist yet, has only put 1 key pass together. His passing has been decent. I don't understand why they wouldn't play him, to be honest. He has to be the best player in that league. I can't think of many more people who play in that league currently who would be as good as him, if not better, especially in that squad. So that's an interesting one. This next one took me by surprise. Didn't really see this one happening. And it is, of course, PHILIPP. Maximiliano PHILIPP, I think his name is his full title. Now plays for Dynamo Moscow. Now, there are only 3 clubs from Russia in FIFA 20 as far as I'm aware, because I don't think they've bought the rights to the Russian league. They still have only the 3 clubs: Lokomotiv Moscow, CSKA Moscow, and the other one that I always forget. Oh, that's going to bug me. It's going to bug me. Spartak Moscow. There it is. I've got it. We don't need to cut. Okay, fine. Right, so Dynamo Moscow being one of the other ones, obviously. But no, that's not in the game. So whether they've got the rights now, I'm not sure. So I've tried to find out what leagues are in FIFA, and all I can see is sort of predictions. I can't see an actual list, so we don't know. There is something hidden within the leagues of FIFA, because I was watching Bateson on stream playing FIFA 20, and he was playing with Zwayback, and they went to choose teams, and Zwayback was like, oh, I'm going to go with whatever, like Real Madrid or something. And then Bateson was like, make sure you go that way, not that way, because, you know. So obviously, there's something there that they don't want to show people. there must be a league of some description being added, or at least one team from maybe rest of the world that they don't want to show. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But it's a shocker that a player who got a road to the final card and was relatively heavy involved in FIFA 19 will no longer be in the game, as will Brahimi. He has gone to Al Rayyan in, I don't know what league that is. It might be Qatar, it might be India. It's a super league. It's obviously for money. There's no way he's gone there because he had the dream of playing in that league, but hasn't actually played for them yet, hence why I've put last season's stats in there as opposed to this season. But we are going to lose Brahimi, so a big boy going from the Portuguese league. Again, he's 29. I mean, he had time left to play probably another 2 or 3 seasons for Porto. Maybe he could have moved into another European side. Maybe he could have gone to Spain or something. I don't know. But decided to take what I'd like to call the easy way out. And he's gone for the paycheck. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, obviously I'm not a professional footballer, so I couldn't tell you. Because you're not going to know until you're in that situation. If you're being paid XX amount a week, and then all of a sudden a team from India or Qatar or China or whatever, they come in for you with, we're gonna pay you triple your wages, even though you're already on 50-60 grand a week. Could you realistically turn down £200,000 a week? I don't know how much he's on. I've got no idea. I don't know if you could find out, but yeah, it's only a situation that I guess you'd know when you first if you were ever to become a footballer. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a clue. But Brahimi will no longer be in FIFA 20, as I don't believe that club is in FIFA 20. Moving on to Freddie Guarin, if you're Jonathan Ross. Freddie Guarin, no longer with a club, left his Chinese side, and now doesn't have a club. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a retirement notice pop up from him anytime soon. Or maybe he goes back to Colombia. He has, I don't know, maybe a week to go back. If he doesn't go back by then, he won't be in the game. I don't know when the cut-off point is as far as EA are concerned. I would imagine it has to be relatively soon because they have to get the game onto discs. They have to get the game into stores. It's a whole mammoth process. In fact, it may already be too late for Freddie Guarin. I can't say that guy's name. He's played 19 games, I should say, in the Chinese Super League. Played 14 games in the Chinese Super League. What is wrong with me? Got 3 assists, scored a goal. I think he got an inform as well in FIFA 19, didn't he? Decent little card. Obviously very handy for League SBCs, but no longer in the game. And it is what it is. Shame, really, that we're going to lose such a sort of a big name of FIFA, but it's one of those unfortunate situations that can't be helped if he's not in the club by the time he gets there. It's a bit of a weird and an annoying situation for me, really, that EA can't just add him in after the fact with a little update. There's got to be more than just Freddie Guarin, who isn't going to be with a club at the start of FIFA, but I digress. Next and finally, we're going to talk about Antonio Valencia, of course, making his move from Manchester United back to, I believe, his home nation, Ecuador, right? Is that the club he's playing for in the Ecuadorian League? I've made that up, no idea if that's a thing. But so far, so good for him. Played 3 games, started 3. He's got an assist to his name as well. Why not, indeed? Very respectable passing stats, as well as the amount of touches and the key passes he's put together. This one's a shame for me, because this one is one of those that he's 82 rated. Yes, he's 34, but he's still good enough to play for maybe not Man United, but he's good enough to play for a team in the Premier League. If not, he's good enough to play for a team in the Championship, or maybe even in the French League, maybe some of the lower Spanish League teams. Obviously, if he wants to go home, I've got nothing against that. I don't think this is for the money at all. This was just because he wanted to go back home, which is fair enough. That makes sense. But he's good enough to play in a relatively top European team at this stage. If not, then he's still good enough to play in one of the top European leagues. So this one was a bit of a frustrating one for me, especially as a FIFA fan. Not so much as a real world football fan, I get it. But in terms of FIFA, it's a big shame that he felt the need to go back. But that's it for today's list. Antonio Valencia being the last one. I do have 4 more players and probably a whole host of others that I can put into a list, although those were the most desirable. There may be a few others. In fact, do you know what? We're not even going to make it into another episode. What I'm going to tell you is that one of the players is Clinton and G, another one is Gil, the other one is Luis Adriano, and then the other is Abel Hernandez. He used to be a player that I used to go after straight away in FIFA because of his pace. The Uruguayan striker, I think he used to play Russian League. Was it CSKA he used to play for? But anyway, he's not in the game anymore because they've all moved to clubs outside of the FIFA sort of licensing. But that's going to do it for today's episode. If you want to see something similar, maybe not necessarily players who won't be in FIFA, but maybe you want to see the highest transfer fee players and player ratings for FIFA 20, or maybe the top right wings, or the top strikers, the top defenders, etc., then let me know in the comment section. If you have enjoyed it, smack that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.